Welcome back to another Construct 3 tutorial. Today we're going to be working on the animations for our slime guy and then his movement. So he can actually platform like run or jump. We do have him kind of running and jumping already, but it's right now it's super fast. It's kind of clunky. It's not what we want. So first off, let's just go ahead and fix that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to lower our max speed to about 100. We'll lower our acceleration to 800. Alright, it's looking good. So now, let me go in, full screen this. Yeah, we'll have a lot weaker of a jump. We can still like get up here and stuff. So that will be good. Alright, now let's get our animations going. So we're going to click on our event sheet up here. Right now it's empty, but we're going to add our first thing, going to add event. We're going to click on add condition to our sprite right here. Just our slime guy. And we are going to go down to animation triggers. So we're going to do on jump. We're going to go to add action. We're going to go here. We're going to set animation. And we're going to type jump because that is the name of the animation that we made. I'm going to click on this and Control C, Control V, but you can go back through and pick the other one. We'll do on stopped. We'll click here, I'll edit this, and we're going to go back to our idle animation, our squished animation, so that way it'll look like he actually gets squished when he lands. But we want him to go back into his idle after he gets squished. We don't want him to stay like that, so we're going to do a wait, which will just set like a little timer, put 0.25, and then we'll copy the idle animation, copy this back. So here, let's do one more here. We just need to get our running animation. So we're going to do on moved and set from idle. Instead of idle, we want run. So now if we go back in and we start moving around, yep, there we go. He kind of runs around and we have our little jump animation there. He gets squished and he goes back into idle. But you'll notice with our run left or right, he's not mirrored. So we're gonna fix that. Because we want our slime guy to like stick to the walls and stuff, and every time it's gonna be getting rotated, right? 90 degrees every time. We're going to go over here and add what's called an instance variable. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna name it rotation. We're gonna make it a number, and we'll have the initial value be 1. So what this does, basically right now, he's in rotation 1, right? So basically he's facing up here, right? If he turns to the right, say he's sticking to this wall, now he'll be in 2. And then if he'd be upside down, he'd be 3. And then if he's sticking to this left wall, he'd be in 4. If we'll go to compare instance variable, we'll go to rotation, and if it is equal to 1, then we're going to add another one down here. So that's basically an if right there, right? Now we want it to be, if the keyboard movement is left, it will mirror him, right? So we need to go to our object types. Right now we don't have the keyboard available. We're going to add the keyboard in right here with input. There's tons of object types. So we've got like touch and mouse and gamepad, all that stuff. But we're just going to focus on the keyboard. We'll go to add event, we'll go keyboard. We'll do on key pressed, and then click here, put left arrow, and now we want to drag this and put it under here. You'll see this little arrow is not like wide like that. We want it short. Now it'll be in here. So now if rotation equals 1, and then if that is pressed, we will set him mirrored. Okay, and then we're going to copy this. We're going to do the opposite. We go left and right. Yep, there we go. Moves left and right. Our next step is we want him to stick to these walls, and like, you know, when you can kind of run up them and stuff. So this is going to be a little tricky, because we want to keep it to where our controls, if I'm just going right, we want it to stay. If I'm holding down the right key, I'll just go up the wall. So first, let's make a check system for when he collides with the wall to signal that like he needs to actually rotate. So we'll do a on collision with object, and then we'll go to our tile map. Okay, we also want to make sure we already have the rotation system, but this is just making sure we'll have make sure the degrees there we go is within angle within 0.5 of angle 0, so he's upright. And then the last thing we'll add here is has wall. Let's start with to the right. Alright, so it's easier to test. Alright, now we're going to go to add action. So if it's going to touch the wall to its right, we want it to rotate counter clockwise. And we will do 90 degrees. We're going to add, we don't want him to fall because gravity is still going to be applied to it. So we're going to actually set our gravity to 0. We're going to set the rotation, this instance variable, over, I'm going to do set value, rotation to 4, because he's going to be like facing the left side. We want to turn off default controls right here. Okay, and we'll leave this unchecked. All right. When he's moving here, right, we can't just flip our controls. Traditionally, it's going to be a little harder. So what we're actually going to do is go to our sprite and add a new behavior. We're going to add the 8 direction behavior. So we need to kind of match this up with our speeds up here. We'll add action here with those not originally enabled. So when we actually hit the wall, we will go here and we will set enabled. And disable to enabled. And then we will set the platformer behavior to disabled. Perfect. Okay, so let's test this out. Now when we hit the wall right here, yep, we turn. So looking a little awkward though. So what that's actually going to be, I mentioned it earlier in the last episode, is the collisions are off with all of our things. So what we actually want to do is go to our sprite, and we need to get rid of all these little boxes. These are like collision boxes, our polygons, and we're going to make it down to these 4 in the middle. So we just want a box. Okay, now that I have my correct box, I'm gonna control click over all of these. I'm gonna command C or control C, whatever you're on. And I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna control V once again. I'm gonna paste it, and it'll keep that same box. Alright, now that we have our collisions corrected, always, let's just save real quick. Let's play this. And now, yeah, you can see we're kind of like, I don't know, we look more attached to the floor, like an actual slime guy. And now if we hit this wall, yeah, we're kind of in it now. But you'll see that we're going like up and down. If you use the up and down arrow keys, you'll be able to move. But we want to be able to move with the left and right. So let's go ahead and fix that. Alright, let's test this out. So now, go on the wall. Yep, and you can just left and right. Kind of pretty fluid. And now if we jump, oh yeah, we're not turning, but that everything else looks good. So let's real quick go here, and we want to rotate to 90 degrees clockwise. 90 degrees. Alright, let's test this now. There we go. You'll notice that we can't actually control it anymore. So we do want to re-enable our default controls. Go here, set true. And now, when we jump off of this, we can move around again. And then we can go back on, jump off. And, but you'll notice we have a little bug here. We'll fix that in a second though. First, we want to be able to, when we hit the ground, to go back onto it. Our platforms. So let's check this. Now, when we go here, yep, we're going to rotate. And now we can kind of slide off of these, which is pretty cool. You'll still notice though, if we go here, we can kind of just keep going forever. There's nothing kind of kicking us off the wall because we've already changed the controls and it doesn't rely on being actually on the wall. So let's fix that. We're going to use what's called an inverse. That right here. Oh, we messed up somewhere. Okay, so we need to, oh, what's happening right now is we need this to be within when rotation equals 4. Because right now it's just running, checking the entire time if it doesn't have a platform to the right. So now it'll only check if we're right here. Yep. Now when we go off, yep, we get kicked back out. It's pretty cool. So we can go here. Yep. Perfect. Alright, now all we need to do is get this working for the left side. So it's going to be pretty self-explanatory. We're just going to do the opposite. So check. Now, there we go. That's fixed. Yeah. So everything's looking good. If your dude's sticking to the wall and you have all your animations fine, then you are good. So that's all for me for this episode. Um, in the next one, we're gonna start adding enemies and then like more collision detection. So we can actually like defeat enemies and then having animations and simulating control for enemies. So yeah, I'll see you in the next tutorial.